started like any ordinary day at Buckingham Palace. The sun had barely risen, scattering golden light across the manicured gardens, when the first stirrings of what would become a headline-making scandal began. Princess Charlotte, usually a picture of royal composure, was already plotting what insiders would later describe as an audacious escapade. Her bodyguard, a veteran with 7 years of service and a reputation for unwavering loyalty, had no idea that the day would end with his career abruptly terminated, his professionalism called into question, and the palace plunged into a whirlwind of security scrutiny that would dominate the tabloids for weeks. The story begins with Charlotte's unmistakable desire for freedom. Growing up within the gilded confines of Buckingham Palace, she had always been subject to meticulous routines, strict schedules, and endless layers of supervision. While most children her age struggled with homework or soccer practice, Charlotte contended with the heavy demands of royal expectation. Public appearances, etiquette lessons, and the ever-present gaze of cameras that seemed to follow her every move. But as those who know her describe, Charlotte has always had a streak of independence, a rebellious spark that cannot be dimmed, no matter how grand the surroundings or how careful the planning of her security detail. On that fateful day, Charlotte was restless. She had learned, through whispered conversations and fleeting glimpses during her outings, that a public festival, a vibrant, community-driven event filled with music, food, and colorful performances, was taking place just beyond the palace gates. To most, it would have been an ordinary celebration, but to Charlotte, it represented a world beyond protocol, a place where children ran freely, and laughter was authentic and unscripted. She had dreamed of experiencing it firsthand, imagining the sights, smells, and sounds that had always been denied her. And for a princess, there is no thrill greater than sneaking into the world of ordinary people, even if just for a moment. The plan was simple, at least in her mind. Charlotte would dress in disguise, a clever outfit that masked her royal identity. A hoodie pulled low over her face, sunglasses to obscure her eyes, and casual sneakers instead of the carefully chosen footwear dictated by palace protocol. She had studied the layout of the palace and its exits, observed the rhythm of the security team, and even timed the movements of her own bodyguard. To an outsider, it might seem like an elaborate game of hide-and-seek, but to Charlotte, it was a meticulously crafted adventure. Her bodyguard, who had served her family for 7 years, was caught in an impossible dilemma. He had sworn an oath of absolute protection, and yet here was the princess, pleading with him, her eyes wide with anticipation, begging for a taste of freedom. Reports suggest that in a moment of hesitation, or perhaps influenced by a rare glimpse of the child's cunning charm, he made the fateful decision to assist her. Together, they slipped past the palace's inner security perimeter, navigating corridors and staircases with the precision of a practiced team, moving quietly enough to avoid the surveillance cameras that had captured every other movement within the palace walls for decades. Charlotte and her bodyguard emerged into the cool morning air, and for a brief, intoxicating moment, they were free. The gates of Buckingham Palace loomed behind them, a barrier they had just crossed with audacious skill. From that point, the young princess experienced the outside world like never before. The chatter of festival-goers, the aroma of freshly baked treats, the vibrant colors of carnival games and market stalls, and the sound of music carried by the wind. She laughed, a sound described by eyewitnesses as pure and infectious, a voice that seemed entirely unrestrained by the protocols and pressures of royalty. For the bodyguard, the exhilaration was quickly overshadowed by a dawning sense of panic. While he had helped Charlotte escape, he was painfully aware of the consequences if they were discovered. Buckingham Palace security operates like a military unit. Every movement is tracked, every action logged, and deviations are treated with the utmost seriousness. By facilitating this unauthorized excursion, he had violated the fundamental tenets of his role, risking not only his job but the trust of the royal family. Yet, as he observed Charlotte experiencing the festival with unbridled joy, there was a sense of human empathy that overrode the rigid protocols for a fleeting moment. As Charlotte mingled among the public, blending into the crowd with remarkable effectiveness, Photographers and festival-goers began capturing images that would soon go viral. The princess, unrecognizable to most at first glance due to her clever disguise, interacted with families, tried her hand at carnival games, and even sampled a piece of candy from a street vendor. These images, once uploaded to social media, spread like wildfire. Within hours, the world was buzzing with speculation, astonishment, and incredulity. A royal child had escaped the palace undetected, enjoying a public festival without any immediate oversight from her usual team of caretakers. Back at the palace, the response was immediate and intense. Security teams scrambled to locate the princess, communication channels were opened at every level, and senior officials convened urgent meetings to understand how such a breach could occur. The bodyguard, realizing the magnitude of the misstep, attempted to justify his actions, citing the child's safety and happiness as his guiding principle. Yet, in the rigid hierarchy of the palace, no explanation could mitigate the seriousness of allowing a royal to leave without authorization.